Hello, and this is HSK here, back to some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm 1v1 action. This time it's going to be a continuation of the last series, which so far, I think she's earned the first introduction here out of these two players. So far is showing Scarlett up 2-0, which is quite impressive considering her opponent is sOs, who is an outstandingly popular and quite successful player. But down the bottom left side, it is going to be Scarlett, and up on the top right side, hoping to make it to the finals of Red Bull. He's got quite the road ahead of him, though, as it is currently 0-2, and it's best to, well, it's first 1 to 3, basically, best of 5. It is going to be sOs. Now, can the Protoss Hope actually make this happen, or is Scarlett going to continue just to absolutely crush him? Now, I want to say game number 1 was a very intense game. There was lots of back and forth. There's lots of aerial combat, and no, I don't mean the girl from The Little Mermaid. That would be kind of interesting if that was to happen. But either way, lots of aerial combat with Muta, Corruptor versus Mass Phoenix. Scarlett able to come out ahead there. Game number 2, a very early pull by Scarlett, very early read. And Scarlett was able to get ahead from the beginning and just kind of continue to substantiate that lead. Is that the right word, substantiate? I think so. It sounds like a good word, and I said it with a lot of confidence, so I think that's good enough for me. But either way, Scarlett was able to get ahead in that regard and continue to punish sOs over and over and over again. So what can sOs do to actually defeat Scarlett here? Well, I mean, I still think if Scarlett goes up against kind of sOs's more standard play, she might be in a lot of trouble just because sOs lost 2 games that were very unorthodox. If sOs can kind of force it into a more orthodox game, which currently he is, by throwing down the forts first. Notice also how he scouted this game last time, getting absolutely crushed by the early rush. Does not want that to happen again. So this probe over here going to be a total pest. He does, however, have a mouthful of minerals there. We'll see if he's ever able to deliver them again, or if he will die in trying so. As Protoss, I personally really, versus Zerg, love to bring the probe back on home. Just getting that little bit of extra resources does help, as of course he will begin to mine as well. And once the Queen is out and a couple of Lings, there's not a whole lot of scouting you're going to be able to do anyway, especially when creep is involved, as the Lings run, of course, much quicker on the creep. So the probe is got to be wise here to either hang out somewhere else, like maybe trying to delay a third, maybe see if there is a third, maybe see if there is a hidden drone, really trying to see exactly what's going on with the third, or just heading on back home. Normally you'll see pro players keep those probes out as long as humanly possible. That's exactly what we saw there. He knows the 2 Lings are out. I mean, really, what's this probe going to do other than just retreat back home? And right now we do have a gateway. Got to be going down after the Nexus. We also have a cannon, which is placed rather far back here. Now, if you're looking at this, you're like, well, that's not going to help him versus anything. Keep in mind, it's really to help deal with Banelings and Zerglings. If he was worried about roaches, that cannon would not be there. So he's basically, he's kind of telling Scarlett, hey, I don't think you're going to go roaches, and if you do, I'm confident enough not to need that cannon all the way forward. Because you got to remember that roaches, when they start attacking, they're going to be about here. That cannon cannot shoot that far, so these buildings are going to be exposed to any sort of roach timing. Scarlett, not really known, at least in a lot of the games that I've seen, not really known for just doing roach all-ins or 11-minute roach maxes or something crazy like that. So I think that sOs may have a good read here. We'll see if it pays off for him. Just more and more probes coming on out. Don't think we have a Mothership Core out at all. No, we don't. sOs actually just powering the probes over and over again. You can see just now making his very first unit, that 1 Zealot. And the Cybernetics Core is on the way. This is actually on the way inside the main base. Kind of an interesting positioning there. But if you do kind of think about it, this is going to be a great place to hide tech or mass gateways later on. And there's just not enough pylons to really put that Cybernetics Core anywhere else. So it kind of makes sense once you think about it. Just kind of weird to see a Cybernetics Core hanging back here by himself. So we will see what sOs does. A lot of times you'll see an extra gateway or 2. A lot of times you'll see tech. And also sometimes you'll see what we're seeing right now, which is going to be that Stargate. And like I was saying before, want to hide this tech as long as you possibly can. I will say, Scarlett needs to make sure not to forget about this Overlord. The Overlord needs to move more north just a little bit. It saw the Cybernetics Core, so Scarlett knows that there could be tech hidden there. And for Scarlett, it would be amazing if she sent her Overlord just up a little bit. Of course, she doesn't know that because she doesn't know exactly where all that tech is going to be. But we'll see if the Sentry kind of scares this Overlord away. Nah, Scarlett's opting to actually save the Overlord instead of scouting. So Scarlett's going to be playing a little bit in the dark. And we'll see if she pays the price for that. I mean, Stargate can be one of 3 things. It can obviously be an Oracle, a Phoenix, or a Void Ray. All 3 are actually viable in their own right. And right now it is going to be an Oracle once again. Really no surprise to see this here. The thing about the Oracle is even though there are Queens to protect the drones, that Oracle's still going to get 3 or 4 drone kills no matter what. And if it is microed correctly, it will get away before it takes any shield damage, regenerate its energy, regenerate its shields, and go right back into the thick of things. Zealot over here does have 1 kill, gets 2 kills there at the very last second. as the hero Zealot there. By the way, that's actually a really good spot for a Zealot. Protoss players out there, just kind of chill them out right there. Zerg's going to be annoyed trying to kill it off, and they will have to micro quite a bit to do so. But here comes the Oracle right now, and this could be the first major engagement of the game. The Zergling is actually going to spot this if she's paying attention, which she did select it there. She should be in a good position to defend this. You can see a Spore Crawler coming down instantaneously, as that was right when she scouted that. We'll see if it's done in time. Looks like so far the answer is no. Queens are in position, though, and actually getting a pretty good angle on the Oracle to do lots of shield damage right away. Now, normally you'll see a Protoss retreat here, but he's going to look for a soft spot in these defenses. The other Queen running down the ramp, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. The Oracle super slippy, super fast, and is going to be doing, I said super slippy as if we're playing Star Fox, but does look like the Oracle will survive for now. The Queen's going to try and intercept. The angle looks great for Scarlett. I just don't know if the range is great enough. Looks like the answer is no. The Oracle right there needs to be careful, though. It is going to go down. Scarlett getting so lucky there, killing that off. Not really losing all that much. I mean, overall, at the end of the day, it is 7 workers killed throughout this game, but able to kill an Oracle off before it becomes a problem. At that point, I would say that it was a nuisance, but not necessarily a problem. She just needs to make sure to not get supply block. That is a problem. She just had 3 Overlords on the way to go ahead and free up that supply block, but for now, we do have a Void Ray. We also have a Mothership Core, and I want to say never underestimate Void Rays. I mean, in the last game we saw, there just wasn't that many Void Rays, so at that point, you could underestimate them, but when you're getting Void Rays completely unimpeded, that is when they become extremely terrifying. Now, sOs does reveal to Scarlett that he does have a Void Ray by killing off that Ling, and it may seem kind of weird to kill a Ling with the Void Ray and give away that you have one, but keep in mind that not only is it killing a Ling, it's also giving up that map vision, and also got, oh my, wow, the range on that, it just, I'm sure it's accurate, that just looks like such a long range right there, and there goes the Prismatic Alignment. Remember, that is an activated ability now. It doesn't charge up like they used to, as it does look like the hatchery may actually get taken out. Here comes the second Void Ray as well. Does he decide to use Prismatic Alignment, or is he going to go ahead and just wait? He does activate there. A little bit of a waste. Not that there's any roaches, so it doesn't matter. But either way, he's going to get that. I don't think that was a cancel either. Ooh, lots of resources lost here for Scarlett. Not looking good going forward in this game. Now, Scarlett does know that the strategy is going to be Void Rays. The Sentry there, saving that the natural there, and it does look like the Sentry goes back to do his job. Those Lings almost able to get a pretty stellar run by. Not going to happen, though, today, as Scarlett is going to be working on a 4th base over on the left side instead of on the right side, which she will go ahead and throw that one down again, but of course she did just recently lose it. So a little bit skeptical to expand right away. We do have 2 Phoenix on the way already, and I believe that is a 3rd Stargate. Yes, it is. So we are going to be seeing Sky Toss, and as a Protoss player, this is exciting to watch. As a Zerg player, I can see them already pulling out their hair. Keep in mind that Scarlett is up 2-0, and if she continues to produce these Hydras, should have more than enough to deal with it. Takes out the hallucination. Unfortunately, not a real unit, so that was only just a little bit wasted of energy, but honestly, making Scarlett have to micro back there pretty much makes it worth it there. Now, the creep threat for Scarlett is looking pretty good. sOs, though, his army's starting to look a little bit terrifying. 2 Void Rays on the way at a time. More gateways being added on, and this is the part, it's similar kind of to when Terran is going off of 3 bases versus Zerg. This is when Protoss starts to get really, really scary, where they're on 3 bases, they already know what their tech is going to be, and they haven't been slowed down in any way. Now, we do have High Templar on the way, mixed in with Psystorm. This is brilliant, because what you can do is Psystorm the Hydras and Lings and kill everything else with the Void Rays. And you may be saying, well, the Hydras will just kill the High Templar. Not really. You may be saying the Zerglings might be killing the High Templar. Not really. And you might also be saying, well, why wouldn't you go for Corruptors? And also why you're talking to yourself at your computer. It's kind of weird, but we don't judge here. We don't judge here. But anyway, no, if you go for the Colossus, the problem is that the Corruptors are way too good. Hydras are almost able to kill off Corruptors here. Got to be doing quite a bit. And I guess getting Corruptors out is okay. Going for Mutalisk might actually be better, but then you run the threat of the Psystorm and the Archon, so I mean, it puts a Zerg player in a really tough spot, and Scarlett right now is ahead in supply, is getting a couple of pickups here and there by killing off random units, does even up the resources lost overall, but at this point, she may have to actually play defensive. Being aggressive here might be a mistake. She is going to get these rocks here, which does make attacking anything that is on that ramp a little bit easier. Gonna try and go for the Sentry here. The Force Field should buy just enough time. At the same time, there's a big Zealot counterattack down here, which is currently going completely uncontested. I think Scarlett's actually being way too aggressive, especially with Psystorm now done. The Storm's gonna be landing on the entire Hydra army, and this is what I'm talking about. Is this unit composition is a little bit ridiculous. Those Corruptors have got to gather. The Hydras have got to get out there as well. Sure, they've got good upgrades, or they will have an upgrade advantage in just a moment. Does manage to kill off the last few Zealots, but I mean, honestly, at what cost? Not even killing off a Phoenix there. Scarlett way overextending. She had nothing back at home to defend that 5th base. She really had no escape plan there, and honestly, if you can get the Protoss on 3 bases, you have such a better chance as Zerg, because you're going to be on 5, they're going to be on 3. You get time to get out. You can get Infestors, you can get more Corruptors, you can even go Mass Muta, you can continue Mass Hydra, you can start throwing down even more Spore Crawlers. So Scarlett there trying to get a little cheeky with it, and now she's paying the price. Look at this, a 4th base on the way for SOS. That means that he's going to be in a spot that Protoss rarely find themselves, which is relatively easily securing a 4th base. I mean, you just don't see this very often. So right now, SOS is saying, you know what? I am not out of this tournament just yet. I may be down, but I am not beaten. Is that a saying? I don't know. It sounded kind of cool. It sounded like it would be something out of a Rocky movie. But for now, the Hydras are starting to encroach on SOS's territory again. But really, the problem for Scarlett, other than she just lost like twice as much as SOS, is the fact that she doesn't have that great of upgrades. She needs to have a big upgrade advantage right here, because the Storms are going to be making up any sort of difference that just the +1 attack upgrade is going to give. And she is going to be going up against +2 melee attack pretty soon anyway from Protoss. I mean, the Hydra's at a pretty good angle here. They cannot afford to be stormed. If they get stormed, they are super dead. They are going to be eating up these Zealots quite a lot, and she has caught up. Catched is not the word I was looking for there. She has caught up quite a bit in that regard. The Void Rays, though, just going to town, and Scarlett, not enough reinforcements here to make this happen. The Phoenix moving out to try and continue the pain train that they've been throwing out this entire game. A couple of them do get taken out, though. Scarlett gaining a little bit of ground. Overall resources lost is caught up in a big way. I mean, she was at double the resources lost, but now not so much, and she does, though, really suffer some losses at these other bases, and that's something that's really catching up with their 13 workers killed to the 11, although Scarlett just killed those 11 probes. So I think that their effect is not really fully felt just yet. As the game progresses forward, though, that will change. Now, Scarlett is continuing to go for Hydras and Lings here. I'm beginning to wonder, though, I mean, do you have to start getting something other than just Hydras? Because they haven't done enough damage to the Void Rays. The Void Rays are still looking quite stellar. They do have +1. And you may be saying, well, Hydra's hard counter Void Rays. That's questionable. If there's a lot of units mixing with the army, like the Zealots, like the Storm, like the Phoenix, all of a sudden the Hydras have a lot more difficult time. Scarlett going to be very aggressive right here. We'll see if the Storms come down and just how effective they actually are. There they go, storming on top of the entire army. Once again, Scarlett trying to get her. She has a great concave. I don't know if the micro's going to be good enough. So far, she is pushing in here. She still has a huge supply advantage. Might be able to take out the expansion. SOS desperately trying to hang on. Can he do it right now? He's actually going to give up that base here, but at the same time, he's killing tons of drones down here. Overall workers killed 29 to 18. Scarlett once again almost overextending, nothing back at home for defense. She's got crazy creep spread, she's got crazy presence on the map, but she's got to watch out because storms can be coming up at any time. And this army is slowly getting whittled down, and again, the Archons there are kind of the buffer zone. They're the big damage dealers, but the Void Rays got to be cleaning up as well, and unfortunately, Zerg do not have mass recall, so that is going to be a complete sacrifice of this army. Scarlett overextends, loses another base, takes out one of SOS's bases. I guess kind of two if you consider the one that got prevented over here, but she lost so much in doing so. And at this stage, a Zerg would have been okay if she would have retreated there, kept the army alive, scared Protoss from moving out. Do we have any observers on the map? Not a single one. This creep is going completely unimpeded, and I think Scarlett realizes, uh-oh, I've actually got to start delaying this Protoss march as much as I possibly can. One Zealot chilling out over there. That is a Zealot with +2 attack. Would have been great versus the Lings, but the Phoenix and the Hydras are able to clean up that Zealot. So right now, Scarlett has got to play passive, has to buy as much time as she possibly can, has to get out as many units as she can. She's trying to mix in some Mutalisks. The problem is, though, I don't think she's going to be able to get enough. The Archons are just going to chew through. I mean, look at that. That Archon has 16 kills. The other Archon is at 12 kills. And you see the efficiency of these Void Rays as well. I mean, 6 kills, the 18 kills, 7 kills, 12 kills on one there as well. So again, Scarlett needs to be moving back and forth, needs to be defending these bases, cannot afford to be losing more drones or her income. And looks like, I just gotta say, SOS just is kind of like the turd that won't flush. There's no other way to say it. He's managing to be resilient. He's continuing the counterattacks. He's continuing to kill base after base. And his army just is not dying. The Storm's proving to be very cost effective right here. Scarlett is messing up on her macro just because she can't actually mine right now. And she's getting pulled every which way. Can she save this hatchery over here? Looks like the answer is no. Link's trying to swing through to maybe make something happen here. If she loses this, though, it's a huge play for SOS. He does manage to kill it off. Sure, the Zealots will die. Technically, technically Zealots cost more than the hatchery, but it's the mining loss that really matters because SOS was down in the macro, but all of a sudden he has his own third base up and running. Scarlett's income technically beating SOS, but it is not allowing her to get too far ahead. I would say right now that she does stand a good chance. This army composition is so good. If those Archons get 1 or 2 shots off, the Mutalisks are going to really start to feel it, and this army composition for Scarlett is just going to get absolutely devastated. Scarlett needs to make out as many units as she possibly can right now. Once again, though, the counterattack, even the Archon with 20 kills, Beast Mode getting in on this, may be able to kill in a lot of these warping in units, but no, the Phoenix overextending just a little bit. The Hydralisks have got to kind of do the majority of the damage right now, trying to kill off the Nexus. Did she stay for too long? I think so, as she's going to have to retreat there, knowing she had to put on the pressure because she's been losing too many of her own bases. Is once again going to be losing more bases. The Archon now up to 22 kills. SOS somehow not losing any units for the last 10 to 15 minutes. He had very little income, but very, very good micro here. I mean, over 200 APM for Protoss. You can do a lot of micro with that. Keeping the army alive, keeping the dream alive, really, with the amount of counterattacks that we have seen. So SOS may be making this into a series right now. 132 supply to 98. Scarlett losing too much in the retreat. Got to try and use these Mutalisks to kill off the expansion, but guess what? Phoenix say no way, no how. We're going to be chasing these down. Hydralisks do join in, forcing the engagement right here, but SOS may have just enough to make it happen. Got to be picking up so many of the Hydralisks, and Scarlett is forced to GG there, knowing that she was going to lose that engagement, knowing that she had nothing left back at home. I gotta say, man, SOS's counterattacks, just running the Zealots all the way across the map to make it happen and killing out those expansions, doing tons of damage with the counterattacks is really what ended up catching up to Scarlett over the long haul. I mean, Scarlett had some great engagements there, but she ate a few too many storms with those Hydralisks, and overall, just gotta say, SOS playing a little bit better. So we have a series on our hands, as it is now 2-1, still in favor of Scarlett, only dropping 1 game. Scarlett now having to win just a single game to advance to the finals. SOS does have to win back-to-back games, so we'll see. But 2-1, man, going into game number 4, pretty tense. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time.